Hi everybody. I received this on a trade with someone in Norway, and I am very pleased about it because although I haven't really actively hunted this particular deck down, I have been intrigued especially by its colorings. So this is a repainting of Pamela Coleman Smith's art for Waite's Tarot by Francois Tapernoux in oil. So oil paint originals created by Francois Tapernoux. This is by AGMuller or AGM-Urania. Both the box and the little white book or the booklets here stated AGM Switzerland and Belgium. So AGMuller in Belgium here, and it looks like AGM-Urania is in Switzerland, and US Game Systems here seems to be mentioned perhaps as the owner of the images. I'm not sure. Here, painted by Francois Tapernoux in 1991, printed in Belgium by AGMuller Urania. But the address here is Switzerland. So I think AGM is in Belgium, Urania, Königsfurt I think is in Switzerland, and they merge, I suspect, in the 80s. So that's the booklet. Let's have a quick look. That's the box. In my continuous attempt to revamp my collection, I don't always manage to sell or give away. Sometimes even when I give away decks, no one wants them. Selling's hard because of the shipping costs. So the most often occurring instance of revamping my collection is trading, and sometimes you trade for decks that you don't probably otherwise have hunted down yourself. So that's the Golden Rider. I will put this aside for now. I've actually confused this with the hoi polloi for a split second, and if the hoi polloi is a straightforward transplanting Pixie's art into a more psychedelic environment, this is an actual repainting one by one. And what got me the first time of this deck is when I saw some of its flip through on YouTube, is the color. This brown, muted gold, and this kind of not quite pastel, but very, they're not primary colors. They're, what do you call them? They're those in-between colors. They're not red, green, blue, yellow, but this kind of mixture between fuchsia and pink and purple, and gentle and soft and very calming is what I get from the colors and the brushstroke here. And so the reinterpretation of Pixie's art here is very much limited to medium only. So there isn't any spinning or retaking of her art. It is straightforward redrawing of her art. It isn't attempting to reproduce. So I read somewhere in Eclectic Tarot Forum when that was still up that some people dislike this reinterpretation of, or redrawing. Perhaps it's not really reinterpretation because it's not reinterpreted, it's just been redrawn with using a different medium. That Pixie's line drawing and all that are missing, and of course they are, because one is oil painting, the other one is pen, fountain pen, and very different mediums. And so I don't tend to like straightforward copying of Pixie's art without much contribution or without adding anything to the conversation. And even though in this case, in a first instance, you don't see like it's saying anything new, because it is literally a copy gesture by gesture, pattern by pattern of Pixie's art. the very nature of its soft brushstroke here and the color choices really affects the mood. At least it does affect mine. And I quite like this very muted, shimmery gold around it, and I guess this is probably why it's called the Golden Rider, I'm thinking. And I quite like this color scheme. This kind of gold, pink, brown mix is something I rather like. And when I saw, when I saw the flip through of this deck on YouTube over the course of the past 2 years, it's actually the colors that really got me. It really, like this one here, for example, it really does alter the mood. And if you are trying to read more intuitively and you feel the need to have Pixies scenes, but you need a fresh mood attached to it, I think this might be a good deck to do that with. But I don't actually know what it is currently selling for in the secondary market because I haven't been actively looking for it. I haven't done any research or anything. So this was a swap with someone in Norway, as I've mentioned. I'm very, very happy with this, because I probably wouldn't have otherwise pursued getting this deck if not for the trade. It's just prices on eBay can be a little bit, can get a little bit silly, and it's very time consuming to try and get something on eBay at a reasonable cost, especially with shipping to New Zealand being so expensive. I'm not a big fan of Pixie's art. Even after being able to enjoy AGM's version of their reproduction of Pam A, I still think that her art is, that border is not quite straight. Yeah, I think her art is kind of mediocre. I'm so sorry to say that. I think it's really charming. I really like AGM's take on Pam A, and I'm a fan of art, sort of the art style of that period, early 1900s, sort of Art Nouveau, early Art Deco, sort of Edwardian. And I am a big fan of the style of Japanese art that inspired her. I'm just not a fan of her art, sadly. There's a signature there, F.TX, for Francois Tapernoux, I'm guessing. F.TX. That's quite charming. I quite like original paintings or artwork by artists, even when they simply redraw a well-known images like this. I'm not so much a big fan of pre-existing artistic work being adapted into tarot, with some exceptions. Is that the eyes? Are they fully gold? It's a little freaky. Like this, really, the fact that the crustacean here is pink, fuchsia, whatever this is, lilac, this nice light blue, it's just softer. It just changes the mood. And oh, is her eye supposed to look like she's been thumped? That's a little, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Again, because I haven't researched this deck, is that, any of you who have this deck, is that eye supposed to look like that? Anyway. This is a very unattractive, forget evil, it's just unattractive. So that Hebrew letter doesn't translate there either, which, you know, is not surprising. A lot of the esoteric details are missed in a lot of these redrawings because they are reinterpreted perhaps more artistically, aesthetically, and conceptually more than esoterically. So, you know, most of us don't really read esoterically. I don't, not at this stage anyway. I'm really pleased. I mean, I'm really, really pleased because I wasn't, you know, I wasn't searching for it. I've always been curious. Definitely the colors definitely attracted my attention, and the whole combination brown, pink, and gold is such a interesting combination. So I've always had it in the back of my mind that I wouldn't mind a copy, but you know, I've never really had one down. So when you come across someone who want your deck for one of theirs, it's just part of that experience, you know, the experience leading to you obtaining a deck. I found to have greatly influenced your experience with the deck itself. Cardstock is beautifully waxy smooth, like if someone had put a layer of wax on it. And let me show you this. So the whole deck moved quite smoothly there. So it's a bit bowed, but it doesn't really matter. Just a little bit. Yeah. So that's it, people. Golden Rider. I wonder what that US Games thing is about. But I'll give you the ISBN. Where is it? Is that it? I'm not sure, but there it is. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.